Greetings, and welcome to Quack Poker. Welcome back. It's been a very, 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 very long time since a video has been made, but I'm going to start releasing content again, hopefully like once a week. It'll come out, so if you subscribe, you'll see the new videos. And to kick it back off, I've got a special guest today here, Brendan, aka Trebendo Daze. Trebendo Daze, or Titans fan 396.
I'm not a Titans fan.
Yeah. We can go into that later. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and do a hand review here to kick it off, and this might go into a few different videos. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go through a hand review of a tournament that Brendan did. So Brendan, what was this tournament?
So this tournament is the 109 Sunday warm-up that's run every Sunday on ACR, or America's Card Room. It's one of the bigger buy-ins that they run on there. There's a bunch of satellites to it. I bought right in, and I think I started with a little risky with about 25 big blinds, but obviously it's worth talking about. So
do you know how many players there were, or how many entries in this?
Oh yeah, it's about 100K guaranteed usually. So, and it usually exceeds it by quite a bit. So end up being around maybe 1,200 players in total.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and do you usually buy in late to these tournaments, or is this just you just saw this one running and you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna go for it?
Yeah, it's like a feel kind of thing. Definitely on the bigger buy-ins, no less than 25.
Yeah.
Big blinds will I start with. 30, 35, more comfortable. Ideally, something around 50.
Like, I mean, do you like playing like the 200 big blind levels, or do you just always skip out and wait for it to get shorter?
Yeah, I think I'm of the same opinion of the streamers like Tonka and Jason Somerville, where anything without antes is kind of less interesting. There's less to play for. People should be tighter to go to there's nothing in the middle, so it's just less interesting. 200 big blinds deep. I'm a cash game player, so I like that. But in tournaments, I generally 100 or less is better, especially game.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion basically is like if you're trying to maximize your per hour profit, then yeah, you're probably better off just waiting till like the 50 or 25 big blind level or whatever. Like that makes sense because nothing huge is going to happen usually at those early 200 big blind levels.
Absolutely not.
But if you're on the other hand, you're a casual player or you're playing and you kind of want to be very protective of your bankroll and you just want to maximize the amount of time you're playing, then I think it's a really good idea to start it early and do the big blinds and all that. So yeah, I think it's just a question of like, Jason Somerville talks about this a lot of like why you're playing and all that. And I think like if you're playing to maximize your dollars per hour that you could be making, then yeah, buying in late makes sense. But if you really just want to play, if you want to learn the game and you know that you're a losing player, but you want to get the most bang for your buck, then, or if you're just playing for fun, like you might want to buy in early.
Absolutely.
But 25 big blinds is usually, I usually won't buy in quite that short, just because, especially with a bigger buy-in tournament, but just because I do like to have some fun and have some play, and like 25 big blinds, it's pretty easy to go like 4 hands and then bust out and call it a day.
But hey, we like to gamble. So let's gamble.
All right. So here we are in the first hand here. So again, we're Titans fan 396, and it'll keep us in the seat here in this replayer. And right off the bat, pocket 6 is under the gun. Where we're starting here, we already have antes going in. Looking around the table, it looks like most people are pretty close to starting stack, except for the guy to our right's got a super huge stack.
Which is 5,000 for this tournament.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I start at 5,000.
Yeah.
I think the blinds here should be at 100, 200.
Yeah, 100, 200, so we're 25 bigs deep. Pocket 6s, and I've looked at about the first 6 hands here already just to make sure everything was working, but I haven't looked at anything really past that. So I know what you do here. And so I'll start by saying, in this situation, I'm very tempted to play this hand, to like raise and play this. Sure. And I saw that you instead decided to fold. And I think that actually makes a lot of sense. And you can tell me if this was your thinking in this fold here or whatever, but I mean, pocket 6s on one hand are very likely to be the best pre-flop hand here. However, you're not left with a lot of great options. You have a 25 big blind stack, which is a little too much to shove. But at the same time, if you just like min raise, you don't want to make a real big raise, like a 3x, because that's a lot to give up if somebody raises you. But if you just min raise and you get a couple callers, you don't have enough blinds to set mine either. So that is that kind of what your thinking is, and just like folding this under the gun.
So I think if we look at, as Jason would do in his old running up videos, the path of the hand, the type of path. You like to use this.
Yeah.
One. So you have fold, we have raise, and what amount, and I guess we have call. No, calling's bad. You don't limp, right? we won't go down the calling road because that's.
I actually sometimes like to call small pocket pairs from under the gun. And I limp almost no other hands, but I think it's okay because then usually if you're like 30, 35 big blinds deep, you limp it. If you get raised, you can still call it and get the right pot odds to set mine.
Sure. I just think, so if we are going to call and then call a raise, we might as well just raise. We're still in the worst position. If we're going to call and then call a raise, now we're playing a pot from shitty position without initiative. Or we could have done the same thing and had initiative, which is at least a little bit better. Where if we bet, we can represent things like aces, kings, queens, and have people fold perhaps better hands on, say, a 10 high flop. They might fold pocket eights.
Yeah.
Or we might have more playability where if we just start limp calling, it's just hard to play the hand, and then limp folding, we just waste.
No, I mean, well, to me, if we're limp calling just to set mine, and that's it. If we don't make our set, we fold or whatever.
Yeah.
But I guess
I think we're not deep enough for that. But.
Yeah, right. I think we might be slightly not deep enough, and I think the other thing is we just sat down at this table, so we have no idea how it's playing. There could be some random player at this table who's raising every single hand to 10x or something like that.
Sure.
You know, you see this kind of shit all the time. So I think that's another reason to fold here is just you don't have any information about the other players, which puts you at a disadvantage here.
Right. Yeah, that's another thing. I mean, and I thought if we raise, so I don't like calling, as we just talked about. And then we have raise or fold. I think shoving probably might be profitable. I think we just it feels wrong to shove 25 big blinds under the gun with anything.
I don't think it is profitable. Maybe it is profitable just because people are going to be like, oh, this guy just sat down and I don't want to mess with him. But I think in the long run, if people, I don't think it's profitable.
Getting called by worse, but and then if we raise, and we get called for. If we get raised and we get 3-bet, have to fold.
Yeah.
If we get raised and we get callers behind, more than one, one or more than one, I mean, no flops really favor pocket sixes. Very few are you.
Well, again, I would say in that case, you're just trying to flop the set.
Yeah, for sure.
And so then, I mean, if you get one call, you want 6 calls at that point because you just want to flop a set and get paid as much as possible.
I guess so. Yeah.
But yeah,
it's hard to play. So I could see you raising it. If I had 30 big blinds, I probably would raise it maybe 35. I'm probably raising like maybe pocket eights here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. So yes, wait, a ton of analysis for folding pocket sixes under the gun.
Not obvious. It's a play.
We got a guy who raises, takes it down here. Next hand, 9-7 in the big blind, gets raised, and you decide to call here. Probably reasonable since there's antes. Would you call here if there's no antes?
Probably not. I mean, probably not.
Yeah.
There's less incentive to. We have an under the gun raiser who's raising off of 18 big blinds. So that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
I mean, you can argue a fold here.
Yeah.
To be honest, I've kind of gone down the road of what a lot of NTT regs, especially those who go on Twitch, like Tonka. I'm a disciple of Tonka. Say where you're defending pretty much, 80%. I'm folding 2-5 off here. I'm folding 2-6 off. I'm folding 2-6 suited. What about But 9-7? Okay, let's see.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable, and yeah, I think it just kind of shows the difference that the antes make here. Okay, so we flop a pair, so we're pretty excited. No real reason to lead out here usually.
That's weird.
Check it.
Call it.
He makes a real small bet. I mean, this is less than 40% of the pot. I don't think raising does us any good. Calling seems reasonable.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, so it seems fine. And so this is another one of the hands I've seen. So you check it again on the turn, and he makes a bet here. And this is another interesting one where the first time I looked at it, I went, oh, and so you call again. Because he is making a very small bet here, and you decide to fold. And which is interesting, and I think probably not bad either way. It's interesting because, I mean, the bet is pretty small, so you're getting ridiculous pot odds here. It's telling us here pot odds are 3-1. Which is pretty darn good. Yeah. I guess on the other hand, though, like the only hand that he can have raising under the gun, if we assume he's got a reasonable range here, the only hands that we're really ahead of are flush draws, pretty much. Like there's no straight draws here. Maybe there's a straight draw,
King
like maybe
Jack, maybe he's double barreling.
Jack 10 suited, something like that.
Suited,
yeah,
especially if we're giving him Jack 10 suited, especially if it's the diamond type, that has a lot of equity. If we're giving him as a bluff, I guess, or King Jack, we're making it mistakes against. Ace King, if he wants to double barrel there.
Okay, so you just named a ton of hands, and we got great pot odds. So why do you fold?
True. So I think he does rep a lot of value hands. Some of them are King, Queen, Ace, Queen, Kings, Aces, Queens. That's pretty much it.
Even Jacks, I think.
Jacks, maybe. I think he might check it back once in there.
Maybe. Yeah.
But those ones are all in his range. The reason why I'm check folding here is because I feel like I'm gonna have to call another barrel if a brick comes off on the river. Like what changed?
Yeah.
I suppose the thing that changed was I see that he's going to bet again, and I feel like if someone's gonna double barrel here, they're probably gonna triple barrel, and now I have to just put on my hero cape. And I mean, you could argue a call here, but readless. It's a little harder.
If you don't have any information on him, I think that's a good reason. And I think the other good reason, as you point out, he's probably going to bet again. Seems very likely. Sure. And given his stack size, his only bet left is all in, pretty much. Yeah. If he's a reasonable player. Again, we don't know anything about this guy. He might be just clowning around or whatever.
Seems like reasonable bet sizing before that. I mean, he's betting, reasonable sizes of the pot. He's not going 2.5x or anything. For all I know, he seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Player. So
I mean, it's interesting because of all the hands you named of the hands we named of possible draws and things. I mean, you could almost consider a shove here of, it's relatively few hands that he's ahead of, that he's really ahead of us with. There are some value hands for sure, but it's not a ton compared to all the flush draws, all the straight draws, all that kind of stuff. And even like a hand like Jacks will probably fold if we shove. So we can kick that one out. Jacks and 10s, if he's got those.
If he has them.
And is playing that. It's an interesting spot, but at the same time, like, this is a tournament. Our chips have value beyond their normal value, and I think we could probably look for safer spots here.
Probably. I mean, I don't really, personally, I don't know if he has Jacks or 10s, but, depends in person. But
right, we have no reads on this
really
guy,
like
so yeah.
Shoving, because it doesn't really accomplish anything, but I could see a call.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm in it, so.
All right, 310 probably. Yeah, you even fold it. You don't even call in the small blind with the 310, huh? You don't even want to try to get that value?
No, I mean, I'm thinking it's so bad. I mean, if it was suited, I'd probably call.
Yeah.
I call most things in the small blind. If not, you could even raise these sort of things where you can, like, raise fold them or, like, they're so bad. But it's such a bad hand. I mean, I just don't feel like...
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little superstitious about, like, if you start folding your small blind early on, you look kind of weak. Yeah, it's probably okay, though. Yeah, I think it's fine here. I mean, 310's definitely fine.
I'm calling, like, 90%.
Yeah.
310,
We're probably going to play this hand, I assume, just a call with the ace-jack. I like that.
Early position.
Yeah, makes sense. He bets like a third a pot. Everybody's betting small here, which, I mean, makes some sense when we're this short stacked. We're not super duper short stacked.
18 big blinds deep now.
Yeah. So you could call here. It's not a great flop for us. But it's
no
such good
backdoors.
pot odds. I'm actually okay with the call here, but you're knitting it up. You're going for the folds. All right,
Yeah,
all
I
right,
mean,
all right.
I would call Ace Jack of Diamonds. I would call Ace Jack of Spades. Backdoor. I just feel like.
I feel like
feeling good about it.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I can respect either play. I think you can call there, but yeah, gotcha. Folds you with Jack 10. Seems like you. God, you're so short stacked. Yeah, it kind of sucks, but I think you could raise this here. It doesn't seem like. I mean, we've only seen 5 hands so far, but it doesn't seem like It doesn't seem like we're getting like 10 limpers every hand. So I think it's okay to do a raise here. You decide to fold though.
Good. I mean, I don't want to. The thing is, I'm raise folding.
Yeah.
Always.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, it will pick up some of the time. I just feel like I'd like to do it with a hand that flops better than Jack 10 off, but I can see it. I can see a raise.
And we're seeing the button shove here, and we got an all-in thing here, and we see some hands. Ace 4. Yeah, it shoves Ace 4 offsuit on the button with 15 big blinds. That's probably fine.
I actually know who this guy is.
Really?
He's on 1-3.
You know people on this?
Well, he's actually a Twitch streamer.
Oh, really?
Yes, he is Mr. Bovada on Twitch. You can watch him. He's very
Interesting.
Nice. His name is Matt Lishke.
So I assume he's pretty good.
He's like been a pro for a while. Yeah. He's actually on the tighter side. Now that I watched it,
yeah,
I had no idea. I didn't really get into spots in here. But
yeah. Yeah, 15 big seems like a reasonable shove. I mean, he got lucky still, but whatever.
Seems like
I mean, if he's shoving Ace 4, he's probably also shoving like King 10 and stuff like that, which makes Ace 10 a fine call, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Folding that, I assume. Knitting it up. You're probably not going to play the 8-9 under the gun either now. All right. I guess for the early levels, we don't need to see every hand. Although, if you feel like you have reads on these players that I don't know about, let me know. Got a raise and a call. Some people like to call real loose here, but I'm guessing from the way you played this so far, you're going to fold.
I think I'm going to call. Actually.
You think you're going to call?
I think I'm going to call.
You think you got the odds here? You can call.
Oh,
no.
Really? Oh. Okay.
Nits. And let's see the flop.
Oh, you check fold. Right?
Great play. Great play. All right.
I mean, we're getting 5-1. I think you can go either way.
Yeah,
it varies.
I think there are players who call there. I think I actually usually fold there because I think we're just getting short enough. It's I don't know.
Bad.
Yeah.
6-10 off.
Yeah.
What do you want? 6 hand to 10.
Yeah. Right. Like you shot. You hit bottom pair, and then like, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? 10. You flop a 10. You're just gonna go with it and like be screwed half the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's not great, but I can see you calling.
Seeing a little more action here with some players. I know somebody's gonna go out here.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
This guy just triple barrel bluffs into the sevens.
And the set
with the gut shot into the set of sevens. Yeah, don't triple barrel bluff into a set.
Yeah, I mean, I think it actually that triple barrel bluff can make some sense actually.
Oh sure, I mean
he has equity, and then at the same time he can rep flush draws. He can rep things like ace king. He can get 10s to fold, jacks to fold, queens to fold.
I feel like in this spot I usually would double barrel give up. Like definitely betting on the flop makes sense because you've got the gut shot and you've got the backdoor flush draw, so you can continue on a lot of turns.
Sure.
And even if you've got 2 overs a second pair, like you can continue on a lot of turns. You've got a decent amount of equity. When the turn comes, I think you can maybe try it again. But on the river, like I think most of the time he's got an ace or better if he's called the flop in the turn. So I think
if he might fold like ace jack.
Yeah,
he might fold ace jack.
Maybe.
But
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It might be a little spewing, but I don't think it's that ridiculous. But anyway, I don't open 8-4 surprise. I think that's obvious, right? I'm like. I mean,
unless you feel like, you're 12 big line seed. Never mind. Yeah, you just gotta. Unless you're at like the tightest table in the world, you've got to fold. Yeah,
it's shove or fold, and I don't want to shove 8-4.
Yeah,
it's not on the charts, but.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, are you just basically playing by the charts here?
Yeah, I got my chart up. One of those push folds. Up on the side.
For people who don't know, there's push fold charts are basically they just give you the perfect they give you basically the perfect strategy to play. Like once you're a short enough stack, there's a mathematically correct way to play. And so it's kind of just a mathematically unexploitable way to play. And so you should use that as a guideline.
Yep.
It is super boring. Although it doesn't, I said perfect way to play, and that's actually not true. Like
Perfect
you can,
if everyone were robots.
yeah, if everybody else were playing perfectly, it would be perfect. But it turns out because other players have mistakes, you can deviate from that and actually be more profitable.
Okay. At no point of deviation should 8-4 offsuit be a shove, though.
No.
If you
I
have
would
two
say,
old men in the
yeah.
lines and they like never play anything.
Yeah.
Actually, okay, yeah.
If I see someone, like if this number were real, if I'd played 1,000 hands with this guy and his VPIP was 7, I would min raise and then and then
That's
try to
actually
take it down.
reasonable. That's reasonable.
But this is a very special situation. Did you have any HUD stats on any of these players or anything?
I think these HUD stats. Oh, we should have
These
talked
are-
about
these
HUD
are-
stats.
Yeah.
These HUD stats. I don't know if they're from the time that I played or
No, this is from Poker Tracker is doing this itself. You just gave me the hand histories.
Yeah.
So it's just for this tournament. But I'm wondering
Is
if
it
you.
coming up with the whole tournament?
No, it's doing it as the tournament progresses. So we're
that's good
15.
then.
Yeah, we're
That's good.
this is 15 hands deep.
Okay,
Yeah,
and for all
yeah.
intents and purposes, I don't know any of these players anything more. I
You
might have had a little
didn't
know.
have any. Yeah. You hadn't played with any of them.
I'll say things if I do, but
Okay.
nothing that I can remember.
And you said the Zenzom guy, you didn't know who he was at the
I
time.
didn't know who
Okay.
he was at the time. There's another Twitch streamer who will come up later and give me some problems. King
Alright.
Deuce off into the muck.
Yep. So we're just waiting for a hand at this
look
point,
at
pretty
this.
much.
Jack 10 suited.
Jack 10
Looks
suited.
nice.
Yeah, looks nice. Sucks to be playing it from the blind.
Think-
Decide to call. That's interesting. I guess
What else
that's
are we gonna
okay.
do?
Yeah, fold.
Fold? Jack 10 suited?
That's fine.
Come on.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean,
Okay.
okay, we have shove. Okay, we're not going to intermediately raise, right? That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
No, you're right.
We have shove, fold, or call. Okay, folding, but I feel like we can play the call, make a draw or pair. Thing flops so well. We're gonna
Yeah,
get
yeah. I mean, it's
and
one of the
just
best
shove
flopping
it.
hands. Yeah.
It is the best, isn't it? Other than like
Sure,
pocket aces.
sure. Why
I mean,
not?
it's so pretty, right? I mean, we get any piece of it, we're check shoving.
Yeah. And then otherwise we just give up here,
Give it
presumably. Yeah.
Yeah. So good
Yeah.
luck.
Okay. Next hand. All right. So
Ace
ace four in the small blind. Obviously, we're gonna shove this if it didn't get raised. But now that it got raised and now it's called, it's definitely a fold. Yeah.
I don't remember what I did in a lot of these things. I know
Yeah,
that
that'll
I
be
got in
great.
A lot of like sneaky spots, but that seems like not. Being
Here we definitely should be 9 big blinds. Yeah, we definitely should be shoving on the button.
Probably a shove.
Oh
No,
wait!
it's not.
Oh god damn it! Fuck you,
Got us
guy.
again.
All right, 7 queen. Yeah, I
It shows
think.
you how much of a gamble it is. I'm already at $109.
Yeah. And yeah, I think if you were like, and this is, you could look at the charts and know for sure. I think if you're like 6 or 7 big blinds deep, this is a shove. But 9 big blinds, I don't think it is.
I don't know. I don't even know if that's ever. Yeah, you got to be short for that to be a shove. But
No. For only into 3 players, I'll bet you. We'll look it up later. But yeah, I think 6 or 7 into 3 players, probably something like
Look it
that.
up right here. Push or fold. What do we got?
Into 3 players,
how many
we're at a
blinds?
full-handed. So I was saying if we're like 6
6 big blinds.
big blinds, and we're pushing into 3 players.
No, you need queen 9 or better.
Queen 9, so pretty close though.
Pretty
Okay,
close.
yeah. So like 5 big blinds, we would be shoving it.
Let's see. Nope.
No, oh no.
See,
My push fold knowledge.
Intuition, you gotta feel for it. Yeah. It's
One
close, it's close, it's
one
close.
seat over, we're definitely pushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be. That makes a huge difference. Okay, 7-9.
Actually, with 6 big blinds, you're not pushing it on the button. Seriously, dude. Queen 7 sucks.
What is it up
Computer.
to? Queen 8. Oh, Queen 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like negative EV by like point.
Well, but again, this depends on how your opponents are playing.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I mean, this guy's a pro. The other guy, I mean,
Yeah.
This is the 109 tournament. They're pretty mashy. Anyway, go ahead.
7-9, folding it. Yay. So this is the funnest part of tournaments where you're just waiting for a hand. It doesn't seem like anybody's doing anything crazy so far from the other players. We're getting all our good hands in the big blind, which sucks when you're at this stack. Because you have to like fold in this situation, I think.
We're not getting 47%
Yeah.
against that range.
Yeah.
We're definitely
Yeah. Now we get to fold. Yay. Let's see what this guy had. 7. Yeah, ace 7.
Like even against ace 7, I think king 9 suited's like 45%.
Right, yeah,
So
it's going to be a little bit of a
good.
dog. This guy's got ace king, though, which is kind of what you expect when someone re-raises like that. For people watching, if you're a newer player, a lot of this stuff comes from just playing lots of tournaments, looking a lot at the push-fold charts. You kind of get an intuition for what people are pushing in these situations, what they're shoving with, and yeah, like that. You just, if you look at most of the hands with this guy's got 16 big blinds that he's open shoving, like he's typically,
16 big
yeah. I mean, so he's pretty deep, and this is probably too loose even to be shoving with 16 bigs.
I would actually raise fold.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
It seems a little too much. I mean,
Yeah.
ace 7, it can't be.
I mean, the only argument
that
for
bad.
not raise fold,
It's close.
you could be a little scared if you're going to raise that you're going to shove a lot of hands because you're in the big blind. So if he raises, if he just raised and it folded to you, I might actually suggest jamming the king 9 king 9 suited in that situation.
If he's raised folding ace 7 to my king 9 jam, then he's making a big mistake.
Right.
He probably could raise call me off.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
8-3 in the small blind into the mud.
Just gotta let it go. Yeah, this
Can't
is
call it.
the fun of tournaments.
I think hopefully it gets around. So
Hopefully you don't just bust out in 2 hands. No, I happen to know you did better than that. Yeah.
All right, let's into the luck.
Yeah. People keep raising before us, so
Not good enough.
it's a fairly active-ish table. Although looking at the stats, I mean nobody's opening a crazy amount. This guy's at 50. Well, but only with 4 hands. Yeah, so there's nobody's opening a crazy amount here.
5-8 into the muck.
5-8 gone.
Later, 5-8 will not be. I will tell you. Sneak peek.
Spoilers.
All right, ace queen suited will not be going into the muck.
Yeah,
No
I
matter-
don't.
I don't care if 5 people shove behind.
Really,
me.
if this guy shoves, this guy shoves, this guy reshoves, you call?
I mean, no, but if a guy raised, I mean,
Which it
raises
looks
it,
like
I
this guy's
call.
gonna raise,
Yeah, I'm all in.
and then we're just all in
Yeah, we have
here.
5 big blinds and ace queen suited.
Yeah, definitely fine. Feeling pretty good, unless he's got a king.
He should be rather wide.
Ace jack, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
nice to hold. Nice
Cool.
to hold.
All right, and so like that, we're at a whopping 13 big blinds, almost starting stack. So that's cool.
I'm looking for that spot again.
Yeah, still, I mean, 13 big blinds is not a lot of maneuverability.
Ace 10.
Oh, see, I know up to about 10 big blinds and then things get fuzzy. I'm pretty sure ace 10 is still a fold here with 13.
I think it's close. I'm gonna look at the chart over here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. We need at least ace 10 off with 10 big
But that's
blinds.
10 big blinds, yeah. So with
it's like-
13 big blinds, yeah, it can't be.
It's probably like 0 EV right there.
Yeah.
Oh wow. That was astute, Brendan. There you go.
So yeah, you did make
I did
the right
fold.
fold. Very
I think-
nice.
Yeah, I was really following that chart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely think that a lot of people would shove there, especially on a tighter table. On a tighter table, I think ace 10 off is a good shove, probably. But
Yeah.
Anyway, this is going to go all in.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah, for sure.
All in.
For your pocket pairs in general, I mean, you're with any stack 15 big blinds or less, you're shoving most pocket pairs.
Yeah, maybe not deuces.
Yeah. And there's certain situations where if you think you're going to get a ton of callers, you shouldn't, but otherwise it's fine. So jams it in and just takes it down, which sucks.
Feels good. Nah, it's not bad.
I mean, it is a lot of chips. There's 1,000 chips. We're up to 15 bigs now.
It's not bad.
And we definitely need those chips because we are bleeding. You're going to fold the king 6. You like calling from the big blind. I mean, Tonka really likes these like calls from the big blind too. I sometimes fold in these spots, but
yeah,
I don't feel like you're giving up much by folding.
You're not.
And,
You're not. I mean, we were getting what? What were we getting? 5 to 1.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, king 6 off kind of sucks. I would feel better with a king 6 suited.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it goes either way there. But
Yeah.
we check fold anyway.
All right.
It is just one big blind.
6-5, gonna be in the muck. Jack 4, gonna be in the muck. 3-6, gonna be in the muck. Just gotta make sure you don't go crazy, have a stroke, and get all in. 10-3 in the muck. All right. Yeah, we're already down to. I mean, the antes are fairly big, and so we're already down to 9 big blinds here.
They're 1/8 of the
Again, you just gotta fold that. Sorry, getting used to the software. 5 queen, also got to be a fold. As we discussed, ace king. We're getting our best hands in the big blind. The big blind is like the worst place to get these types of hands, but we're never folding.
I don't know about that. I mean, we're gonna get some action with it. With ace king, I want some action.
Yeah, that's probably fine. The problem is if there's like action and then another caller and like it's from all year's deck. No, yeah, right, exactly.
I don't know. Ace king is gonna dominate everything.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
How did I win this one?
And Brendan busts out the tournament. Thanks for watching. Oh, wait.
How did I win with ace high? Ace high is a powerful
he's got like another ace, like ace 10 or something. Yeah, called it.
The kids don't know the power of ace high these days, right? To quote a legend. Mm-hmm. No, but we do know the power of ace high. And there it is.
It could have been a chop too with like another ace king, I guess. But yeah.
With that board, you're pretty screwed.
Which he's got 14 big blinds. What did he do? Did he min raise ace 10?
I guess we could talk about that. That seems pretty bad.
Yeah. Like he should have just, if he's gonna do the ace 10 there, he did. He called it. Yeah, he min raised and then called your shove with that.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah, he should have just
big blinds. Or
14 big blinds.
Ooh, that's bad. I mean, it's bad for this reason.
Yeah.
For exactly this reason.
Yeah.
He has to call that off. He's mathematically obligated to call that off and get into a situation where he's dominated or worse aces.
Yeah. And like if somebody else shoves and calls, then he's got to fold just a huge chunk of his stack. He's not folding out people with kind of wonky hands that could get in there. Like it just puts him in real bad spots.
That's bad. I mean, if I were him, I would either shove or fold.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think raising is
for sure.
We can give him a little. I have the red downwards arrow for fishy. So I might do the fish here. So I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to see. So I mean, I play online. I play more live poker than online, and like online, I typically play very low stakes. I've never played a $100 tournament online or whatever. And so, yeah, it's interesting to see, though, like the mythos always was, like the higher stakes, like online is just all sharks all the time.
A lot of them.
But I guess for like the tournaments, it's a bit more fishy, I guess.
That's definitely true. I know online cash is absurd.
Yeah.
People at 25 NL, 10 cent, 25 cent. You're up at your backyard game.
Yeah.
And they're wizards from Russia taking your quarters. I mean, you really want to play with those people? No. You're losing your quarters.
Yeah. So this is again. So again to the new players. So like one thing when you're in this short stack mode, although we're not super short right now, but when you're in short stack mode, you want to be the first one to act because you want to have a lot of equity to get other people to fold and steal the blinds. I mean, because right now, if we do a min raise like this guy did, he could spend 800 chips and win over 800 chips here, whatever.
So it only has to work around 40% of the time, and he makes a winning play by opening up. Plus, he has 34,000 chips. Sounds like a reasonable play.
Yeah, as a big stack, he should be pushing people around a lot. And it puts us in a shitty position because it's like, we don't want to call him with this hand. It's not great. No. Like, we want to be able to have the chance to just get everybody to fold and not even have to see a flop with a hand like this. So if he folds, you're probably opening for min?
Probably, yeah. I mean,
and then we're hoping to take it out.
People laugh. It's reasonable. We're definitely not calling there. He opened from early position. I think we're 7-handed right now. He's opening from early position. He's on a big stack. I mean, reshoving does not feel great. And so it's a fold.
Seems reasonable. 6-9s fold. 7-6 probably should be a fold. 9 fine. Oh well, yeah, we're pretty deep now. Yeah, 18 big blinds, definitely a fold. Oh, 9-5. No, it's a fold. It's like maybe you get creative if it folds to you with 9-5.
Okay.
You fold a 9-7.
Okay. I have my reasoning here.
So looking at the stats here, This guy is calling pretty wide, so like that makes us less incentive to try to steal. Right. We have no information on this guy here, and he's fairly short, which gives him a lot of opportunity to shove over us and put us in a shitty spot.
Yeah.
I think a fold's okay.
I don't really want to raise fold to that guy, and I feel like he's shoving a lot. If I'm raising things like 9-7 off, if that guy had 15 big blinds, I would do it maybe.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, this is, again, where I'm really paying attention to the stats. And, like, if we had more hands on this guy and they were both, like, 17-17, I'd fucking raise it and whatever. And just, and just, if I get the blinds, I get the blinds. If not, whatever. If he just flats.
17-17? That's like...
if their VPIP is, like... I'm saying if both of these players have a VPIP of 17.
17's like... it's not that tight.
No, it's not that tight, but I think it's still tight enough that it's profitable just to raise and try to steal the blinds here. Because the antes are so big, I think it's pretty profitable.
Yeah.
And if he just flats us, which he might, just like we were flatting before, we've got 9-7. We're taking a position. 9-7's not the worst hand. I think that's fine. But this guy's calling more, and we don't really feel like getting into a hand with this guy with kind of a shitty spot. And then, like, if this guy calls and this guy shoves, whatever, it just sucks. So, fold's fine, and this guy shoves.
Yeah, I mean,
But, I think this is where, like, paying attention to their stats makes a lot of these, like, blind steals a lot more reasonable. I mean, and really, like, anytime you're looking at steals, do you have this stat on your HUD? Fold the steal, fold the late position steal.
I have something like that.
I
to be honest, I have this HUD.
Yeah.
But I'm so bad at using it.
Yeah.
I just don't really. I really look at VPIP and PFR, which are voluntarily put chips in the pot, which is VPIP. So how many times you put chips in the pot, what percentage of the time when you have a hand. And then PFR is pre-flop raise. So out of those times that you put the chips in the pot, how many of them are raised? And you can interpret whether someone's tight, aggressive, loose, passive, whatever. That's basically what I look at. And then you can get, there's a ton of stats in there, but generally you need large sample sizes for anything to shake out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can go absurd with the stats, but yeah, I mean, any stat, like even stats like 3 bets, like... There's not as many opportunities for 3 bets as you would think, and so like even with 50 hands on somebody, like I don't necessarily trust this 3-bet stat. Maybe they just haven't had in 50 hands. It's pretty easy not to have very many hands that are 3-bettable, and this guy might do a lot of 3 bets a lot more and things like that.
I mean, the one thing that VPIP and PFR can tell you over a short sample size, maybe even 30 or 50 hands, is basically, is this guy a recreational player or is he know what he's doing? If you're looking at things like 22-18, that's the typical shark.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at things like some guy sits at your table and starts shoving crazy or whatever, and he's 66-50, then you can be okay.
Or if you see 80-0, you're oh, this guy's limping every hand.
Sure,
or
exactly.
More interesting, even what I see a lot is 80-10, which is this guy's limping every hand except when he has the nuts, and so you always fold when that guy raises,
exactly.
That kind of stuff.
These things are important, but you can go into the other ones. They're more important for deep stack cash games when you're playing with these people forever, and you can find the tiniest leaks in their game. But.
Yeah. This guy open shoves, so we got to fold the 9-10. We're at 13 big blinds right now. So pocket 8s, definitely seems like we're going in, even if the guy to our right shoves. Well, he shouldn't shove.
If he raises, I'd probably go.
But if he raises, we're shoving over top of it. 8s are going to be ahead of so many hands that he raises, which he does raise, and he shoves.
8s are too good.
Yeah. And he just folds.
So it shows you that he's raising things that he doesn't want to call 5,000 more chips with, which makes the 8s a definite shove. Probably should be shoving 6s there. We're at the table that's 7-handed.
Yeah, I mean, this guy knows he's the big stack, and he should be pushing people around, and that's what he's doing. That's the right thing to do. But then, if he gets caught with his hand in the cookie jar too many times, he can start to lose money, and we can shove on him lighter and all that kind of stuff. So this guy just calls.
I don't know what I do here. I think I might. I don't know what I do here. I'm feeling like I've been pretty conservative in this tournament, so that I'll check and take a flop. However, a lot of people... What do I have? 13 big blinds? No, I have 14 big blinds.
You have
16
17 big blinds.
17 big blinds.
I got them. I got them right here. They're this one.
Oh yeah, 17 big blinds after the 500s. Oh,
yeah.
I don't want to shove 17 big blinds with King 8 off.
Yeah, I think shoving is if you were at like 12 big blinds,
okay.
yeah,
we can do that. But
yeah,
I mean, I don't think he's unless we like have some history where he might like be trapping us or whatever. I think you can shove your Nash range at King 8 off.
You could you could consider just raising him here.
You want to raise fold?
If I had 22 blinds, I would probably raise him here.
Okay, I get that.
17 big blinds is just the right like shitty stack size. I like raising I like raising here because I like to let the guy to my right know that he can't just limp into my big blind. Like, fuck you, guy. I'll show you what's what. Absolutely. I'm the sheriff here, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the sheriff badge. We got those Jason Somerville.
Yeah. I got my peaking shirt on and everything, so,
never mind. I should have had my team never lucky for the battle.
But with this exact stack size, I fucking hate playing 15 to 20 big blinds. It's the worst. That's the worst tournament poker ever is, I think, at that stack range. It's just because there's just so little you can do. You can't shove in so many spots, and you can't. This is interesting that he just checks here, because if I'm him and I'm the big stack, I'm betting here 100% of the time, I think.
Really? Yeah, I think Queen 5 Deuce, it's a nothing board. The chance that I have a piece of this is rather low, probably about 33% of the time.
Yeah.
For the pair. Donk lead. I think limp donk lead like stabbing for the small blind is super profitable.
Yeah. As the big stack, like we're never going all in here with this hand. Like fuck it. So I'm actually kind of suspicious when this guy checks. Looking at how he's played so far, like he seems like a decent player, might be a very good player even. I don't, we'll see how things go.
Yeah.
As we were just saying, his stats are right in the shark range, right? Yeah. He hasn't done anything crazy. So it's actually a little fishy to me to see this guy check. It makes me think he's got a hand like a 5
or a 2.
or maybe. See, he seems like he would raise so maybe he's got like king high and he doesn't want to bet that. I don't know.
Maybe he could have like ace 3.
Yeah.
He could have like ace 3 that he didn't want to jam pre-flop.
Yeah.
He probably would have. He could have. He probably doesn't have a lot of queens because he probably.
Well, but he could even raise do a 2.5x raise pre with ace 3.
Sure.
I mean, maybe some players don't want to do that. I know there are more players now talking about limping even good hands from the small blind or whatever. Yeah. I don't know, but I find that suspicious.
He probably has some showdown value, like a 5 or a 2.
And so do you check here, do you think you were suspicious at the time, or do you check because you think you have showdown value, or do you check because whatever?
I think I check mostly because of whatever.
Yeah.
I think probably in my head that king high actually does have some showdown value. Weird enough. I think if you stab, you actually do rep quite a few things, so it's not like it's bluffy or anything.
Yeah.
And it makes it hard for him to continue. I wasn't thinking actually as in depth as you were talking about, but I agree with you. I think I actually wouldn't bet as me right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just making assumptions based on what we've seen so far, but we've only said at this table, this red number again is the number of hands we've seen with this player. So we've only seen 50 hands from him, so we don't really know his whole story, but he seems pretty good, and I think just most good players are betting there. But yeah, I think I feel like, we can expect to get called a lot of times if we bet there. Shoving is a real Wild West play that maybe would be actually okay there, because I don't know.
That's crazy.
But
shoving
or making betting and then shoving.
Why wouldn't we just pot it instead of shoving?
Right, yeah. I should actually say not we should pot it, if we're going to go that route. Yeah, I agree.
You can certainly bet.
And so now he makes the teeniest bet, and we've got a fold, which is again what I'm surprised he didn't do on the flop. I mean, the other types of hands he does this with is like nutted hands, right? Like pocket twos or something like that that he didn't feel like raising or whatever.
I mean, now he has things like Jack 10.
Or 5-2 even, like if he just felt like limping 5-2.
Yeah, he could have 5-2 suited.
Or Queen 2.
He's actually pretty strong when he does this.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not feeling like King 8's good.
Yeah.
Any percentage of the time, really. And
Yeah.
if I want to what am I going to do? Float him with 0% equity? I don't know.
I mean, I think regardless, I think he was. I would guess he was super strong there. All right, we are coming up on the 45-minute mark, so I think we're going to end this video. Although before we do, we didn't talk about the beer at all. So at the very end, I've been drinking the Peach Lager by Abita Brewing, which Abita Brewing from New Orleans. I think I've drank other beers on this before from Abita, and it's good. The peach beer though is very peach and not much else. It's like drinking boozy peach juice, so if that's appealing to you, good stuff. And you've had the old standby.
The old standby from Austin, Texas. If you ever come to Austin, you will drink a Fireman's Fort. It's just a very standard blonde ale, but it's a good one.
Yeah, especially when it's 110 out. That's the beer you want to reach for. Yeah. All right, so we will continue this hand review in more videos, but thanks for watching. Subscribe so you can see when these get posted. Like I said, I'm going to try to post stuff once a week now, but we'll be back with Brendan next week for this.